The wind off Massachusetts Bay carved through Boston's concrete canyons, a relentless force that rattled the windows of Mary Williams's apartment. Inside, the warmth was a small victory against the winter morning. Mary, already hours into her work, was mapping the graceful lines of a new building when the phone shattered her concentration. It was her mother. "Mary, you need to come soon for the final wedding preparations, and your dress fitting." Mary's gaze drifted back to her drawings. "I know, Mom. I'll be there this afternoon. Ashley wants everyone for brunch by 11. Her mother's voice tightened. "Your project can wait. This is your sister's wedding." "That's not fair," Mary began, but the sigh on the other end was a familiar wall. "Just come, Mary. Your father and Ashley are waiting." The call ended, leaving a silence louder than the wind. Mary looked out at the steel-gray sky, remembering a different kind of cold, the years of part-time jobs in greasy kitchens to put herself through architecture school while her sister, Ashley, was bankrolled through a prestigious university, her path smoothed by their parents' unwavering support. A new text flashed from Ashley herself. "Don't be late. Jason's mother will be at lunch. It's important." The name Jason Harrison was a ghost from the past, a sharp, secret pinch in Mary's heart. He was Ashley's fiancé. And he was also a man Mary had known intimately in college, a fact buried deep, a landmine she could never disclose. Later, at the dress shop, the air was thick with unspoken tension. Ashley's smile was a perfect, polished thing, but her eyes were cold. Finally, Ashley chirped, "Jason's sister will be here soon. You two should get along." In the fitting room, shrouded in satin and tulle, Ashley's question came like a sniper's shot. "Mary, have you ever met Jason before?" Mary's blood ran cold. "No." "Why?" "When he heard your name, he had a strange reaction." Ashley's reflection in the mirror was studying her, searching for a crack. "Your imagination," Mary said, her voice miraculously steady. "How would I know him?" Ashley said nothing, but a satisfied glint in her eyes confirmed Mary's fear. Something was very, very wrong. On the wedding day, St. Patrick's Church was a jewel box of whispered silk and perfume. Mary, in emerald green, arrived to find her assigned seat was not with her family, but on the periphery, a solitary island along the side aisle. "Excuse me," she said to a staff member. "I'm the bride's sister. There must be a mistake." "The chart is specific," was the apologetic reply. She found her mother, a vision in lavender, her face hardening as Mary approached. The seating was Ashley's decision. "It's her day. Don't make a scene." "A scene?" Mary recoiled. "Why would I be making a scene?" Her father appeared, his expression a mask of stern disappointment. "Return to your seat, Mary. The ceremony is about to begin." Exiled, Mary retreated outside, where she ran into Mike, Jason's best man. His face paled when she introduced herself. "It's been a while," Mary ventured, testing the waters. "You and Jason have been friends since college, right?" Mike looked like a rabbit caught in a trap. "College? Did you know him then?" "No." Mary backpedaled smoothly. "I just meant he speaks highly of you." Mike practically fled. Puzzled, Mary moved toward the church and overheard tense voices from a hidden terrace. "Did you talk to her?" It was Jason, his voice strained. "Briefly. She doesn't seem to know anything," Mike replied. "Good. Ashley thinks she knows something. That's why she's so on edge." "You didn't tell her? About college?" "Of course not. If she knew, this whole day would be ruined." Mary's breath caught. They were talking about her. Jason was hiding their past, and Ashley suspected. But why would that make Ashley nervous? The reception was a fresh hell. Her place card was at table 23, a small, forgotten outpost in the farthest corner of the ballroom, reserved for distant acquaintances and plus ones. An elderly woman gave her a pitying look. "You're the sister, aren't you? I've heard things. It must be difficult." "What things?" Mary asked, her stomach clenching. "Just gossip," the woman demurred, turning away. The toasts began. Her father raised his glass. "To Ashley, our light, who has always put family first." The words were a dagger, aimed squarely at Mary. When Mary finally gathered the courage to approach the head table to offer her congratulations, Ashley turned a glacial shoulder to her. "Thank you," she said, her voice devoid of warmth. "Now, please go back to your seat." We're taking photos. The final blow came from a stranger, a young woman named Carol, who introduced herself as Jason's cousin. So, Carol said, leaning in with faux confidentiality, is it true? Did you really try to seduce your sister's fiancé? The world tilted. What? Ashley told everyone that you had a thing with Jason in college and you're still trying to get him back. That's why you're sitting over there. The ballroom, with its music and laughter, blurred into a smear of color and noise. The coldness, the exile, the venomous glances, it all made a terrible, devastating sense. Her own sister had orchestrated this, painting her as a villain to hide a truth Mary didn't even fully understand. Mumbling an excuse, Mary fled to the sanctuary of the ladies' room, gripping the cool marble sink. She stared at her pale, tear-streaked reflection. The door opened behind her. A woman in an elegant gown entered, stopping short when she saw Mary. Her eyes widened with a flicker of recognition, then something darker, pity, or perhaps caution. "Oh," the woman said softly, "you must be Mary. I'm Eleanor, Jason's sister." Mary quickly wiped the tears from her cheeks, leaving damp streaks on the satin of her dress. "Nice to meet you," she said, her voice thick. "Are you okay?" Eleanor asked, her tone perfunctory as she turned to the mirror to check her lipstick. "Fine," Mary lied, "just tired." "I see." Eleanor's reflection met Mary's eyes in the glass. "I've heard about you, that you abandoned your family for your career." Mary stared, stunned. "What?" "Ashley told us," Eleanor said, her voice crisp and final, "that you left home and never looked back, that you never cared for your sister." A tremor of pure, hot injustice ran through Mary. "That is a complete lie. I left for college, but I came home every weekend. I was always there." "Fine." Eleanor waved a dismissive hand, snapping her clutch shut. "It's not my business. Just don't make a scene and ruin Ashley's day." The door swung shut, leaving Mary alone with the hum of the extractor fan and the crushing weight of the deception. She retreated into a stall, latching the door and finally letting the silent sobs shake her shoulders. The lies were not just whispers, they were a carefully constructed narrative, and she was the villain. She thought of the years of financial support, the transfers to her parents' account after her father was laid off, the semesters of Ashley's tuition she'd quietly covered, all of it erased and painted over with this grotesque caricature of a selfish daughter. Pulling out her phone, she found an old, grainy photo from a college architecture studio. There she was, and there was Jason, a few desks away. They had known each other. He had been infatuated with her, but she, burdened with family responsibilities and determined to build her own future, had gently and firmly turned him down. There had been no romance, only a polite distance afterward. The puzzle pieces snapped together with chilling clarity. Ashley had discovered this sliver of the past and, poisoned by jealousy, had built a fortress of lies around it to preemptively destroy Mary's credibility. Leaving the restroom, a new, cold resolve settled over her. She collected her coat from the cloakroom. "Leaving so soon?" the attendant asked. "Yes," Mary said, her voice steady. "There's nothing left for me here." She didn't look back as she walked out. Behind her, the cake was being cut, the flashes of cameras illuminating her family's proud, smiling faces. Not one of them noticed the empty seat at table 23. In the silent sanctuary of her apartment, Mary poured a glass of wine, the emerald green of her dress a stark contrast to the dark room. The city lights twinkled below. Indifferent, her phone lit up, first Ashley, then her mother, her father, and, surprisingly, Jason. She let them ring. A text from Mike finally broke through her silence. "Mary, I'm so sorry. I had too much to drink and I started talking about college. I told everyone Jason was obsessed with you, that you were the one who got away. I didn't know about the lies. All hell has broken loose." So, the truth had erupted, messy and violent. Before she could process it, her phone rang again, an unknown number. "Hello? Mary, it's Eleanor. We met in the restroom." The voice was different now, softer, urgent. "I need to apologize. My mother fainted after Mike's drunken confession. In the chaos, Jason admitted everything, that he'd known you, that he'd pursued you and you'd turned him down to focus on your family. When we confronted Ashley, she broke down. She admitted she'd fabricated everything about you abandoning them. She was terrified you would expose her." Mary was silent, the weight of the revelation pressing down on her. Please, Eleanor pleaded, will you come back? Our family, we need to hear the truth from you. We owe you an apology. Mary ended the call and powered off her phone. She stood at the window, a maelstrom of anger, grief, and a sharp, painful sense of liberation twisting inside her. She would not return to that circus. The truth was out. Her presence was not required for the cleanup. She booked a hotel room for the night. In the sterile quiet of the anonymous space the next morning, she opened her laptop and began to write. It was not a plea or an accusation, but a testament, a clear, documented chronology of her sacrifices. She attached the bank statements, the tuition receipts, the records of mortgage payments. She explained her college years, the pressure, and her brief, platonic history with Jason. She sent the email and turned her phone back on. It rang instantly. Her father's name flashed on the screen. Mary. His voice was ragged, old. We read your letter. She waited. Is all of this true? You did all this for us? It's all true, she said, her voice calm but firm. I did my part. You just never saw it. A heavy sigh shuddered down the line. We were blind. We believed her. We failed you. How is Ashley? Devastated. Ashamed. Jason's family is furious. They're talking about annulment. He paused, his voice cracking. Please, Mary, come home. We need to talk about this as a family. The silence stretched out, filled with 15 years of unacknowledged effort. I can't, she said finally. Not yet. I need time. Boston's autumn was a blaze of fire and gold along the Charles River. Mary sat on a bench, cradling a coffee, the crisp air a balm. Mary. She turned. Her mother, Judith, stood there, looking frail and weary. May I? She asked, gesturing to the bench. Mary nodded. They sat in silence for a long moment, watching the leaves drift on the water. Ashley was supposed to come, Judith said softly, but at the last minute, she couldn't find the courage. I understand. In the 6 months since the wedding, Mary had exchanged tentative emails with her parents, but Ashley remained a ghost between them. She's in therapy, Judith continued. She's starting to see that her jealousy of you, your strength, your intelligence, consumed her. She felt she could never measure up. Mary looked at her mother, the old hurt resurfacing. But you always made it seem like she was the one who measured up. That was our failure, Judith admitted, her eyes glistening. We spoiled the one who seemed to need it, and took for granted the one who was strong. We were wrong. And Jason? They're still together, but it's strained. His family hasn't forgiven her. They're in counseling. Judith reached out, her hand hovering before gently covering Mary's. Your father is shattered. He sees now how much we leaned on you, and how we repaid you with neglect. Mary didn't pull away. The anger was still there, a low ember, but it was no longer a fire that consumed her. Ashley has started telling her friends the truth, Judith said. It's her way of making amends. She's telling them about the sister who held this family together. The autumn sun broke through the clouds, warming their faces. Complete forgiveness will take time, Mary said, the words honest and measured. That's all we can ask for, Judith whispered, a tear finally escaping. That night, back in her apartment, Mary's phone chimed, a single message from Ashley. Mary, I'm so sorry. I wasn't brave enough to see you today, but I will be. You were always the better sister, and I didn't deserve you. Mary read the words once, then again. She thought of the long road behind her and the uncertain one ahead. She typed her reply, I'll be here when you're ready, Ashley. Putting the phone down, she took a deep, cleansing breath. She understood now that family was not just a bond of blood, but a choice, a continuous, deliberate act of building something real on a foundation of truth and respect. What they were building now was fragile and new, full of cracks and seams, but it was honest. And for the first time in a long time, under the vast, starlit Boston sky, Mary looked toward the future and felt not the weight of the past, but the quiet, steady promise of a dawn she had built for herself.